No, I think it's mine. Popped off three
Okay.
back to back real quick.
Hold on. Where my countdown at, man? I think I already went live. Stefan's in. Appreciate you, Stefan. We appreciate you, brother. Where is my? I like to do my countdown. I don't know where my countdown button is, but nevertheless, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna keep it raw. I
Ah,
mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I'm super excited to do this part two of this interview with this young lady. She's very electric. She's outstanding. She's phenomenal. She's an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, womanure. We got a certified yoga instructor, fertility finance manager,
yeah,
fertility health advocate. We
yeah,
got
yeah.
Nana Eshun.
Yes, Eshun.
And I gotta ask you this question before we dive
Yeah.
into yoga and fertility, y'all. Is is do they speak French in
In Ghana?
in Ghana? Yeah or no? No French at all?
So there are different types of languages that they speak. There are different dialects in
Okay.
French isn't mainly one of them, but they do teach French in Ghana
Okay.
in schools. So it is, it's apparent, but it's not like up there. Like mainly it's Tree, it's Ga, it's Iwe. There's different dialects for the Ashanti tribe and the Ga tribe. I know Islam is definitely practiced there, so I'm sure there's Arabic there as well too, but English is the main speaking language.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us the gems today. And I'm going to get to a couple shout outs as well. But first of all, before I get into that, how are your mentals and how are your dentals today?
My mentals are
Your
great.
mentals is good. Okay.
My mentals is really, really good. I just got back from a vacation, so it was definitely exactly what I needed for restoration, to reset, to just get back into, the flow, the passion, the purpose. So I'm excited.
All right. All right. All right. All right. We're excited too. So I did my best to introduce you. I want you to do a better job of letting the people know who you are. Just in case people you haven't watched part one, this is part two. Part one is on Instagram, but this is part two with Nana. So let the people know who you are, Nana, in a few words, and then we'll get into our meat and potatoes of this interview.
So yes, guys, I'm Amma. That's my name. Amma means girl, born on Saturday. I started Ohima Collective as a passion of mine because I have been in the field of fertility for over 10 years, and I love for anything that has to do with fertility, the clinical aspect. Mainly I focus on the financial aspect. I help patients find, financial assistance for their treatments. I guide them on their insurance, navigate them through the process. I love fertility so much that, I tied yoga into it as well. I became a yoga instructor, and I absolutely love what yoga has done for my life as far as, keeping me centered throughout the chaos of everything. But I also found that when it comes to fertility, that there are stressors that patients inevitably are going to face, which is the financial, the emotional, the physical. And I found that yoga really helps center them through the process. So I became certified to really kind of study what that looks like. And I'm also still researching more on how to build and maintain and sustain the connections throughout the entire treatment, through the journey, really. And it's been really, really interesting. I love talking about it. I am actually living it. I'm going from being an admin to now becoming a patient, so that's really, really interesting. All a part of my journey of learning this world about yoga and learning this world about fertility. It's a daily process. It's a daily practice. And I hope that with this interview and all past interviews and with my brand, that I can help people find peace within the journey of infertility, or the journey within finding themselves and loving their partner. So that's what I'm all about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being vulnerable on your journey. Um, because it takes a brave individual to talk about what they're going through and what they're experiencing. So we definitely salute you and appreciate you for that. You said something key earlier. Did you start Ohima in 2020? What year did you start your company?
Say that one more time.
What year did you start your company?
I started
2020.
I started Ohima Collective. Yeah, I believe it was 2020, summer of 2020, officially, and then after a while, I think 2021 was when I had my first event. It was like a trial event with couples yoga, and it went very successful where I was able to lead about 7 or 8 couples through the process of all these different poses and positions, but also really diving into the internal aspects of the relationship. How does it work when you haven't really been looking at your partner or you haven't really noticed anything about it? And I find that in the practice that I've studied through other yogis who have inspired me throughout the process, that these times that you spend with your partner are so critical, and tying it to a fertility patient and their partner has really enhanced the whole process of them going through the journey, right? So when I started that event, I was super excited. I love how people connect in time and real time. You're watching each connection build, and it's so unique. And what I love is like when we are together as a group, one couple will, it's a chemical balance where they're not even really focused on any other couples. You're just focused on you and your partner, and you can see how the energies just bounce off of each other, the love aspect of it, and it's a really beautiful thing to watch.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to get to some of these comments, but so I have a few questions because we want to educate people today. I think the purpose of today is to let them know a little bit more about you and to educate them about your services and to educate them in general about fertility and about yoga, right? So I have a few yoga questions, and you answered. We talked about one of them earlier. So let's get to the root of this, the root of potatoes of this. So where did yoga originate and start from? If you mind answering that question.
So from my own research, yoga really started in Africa, but Western philosophy says it does start in India. In Africa, they did have the same positions. It was actually called Kemet, Kemet, where people were using these positions not only for the physical aspect of it, but for their own sacral kind of worshiping way. Then India really kind of adopted it as its own, and they also used it for the same reasonings. However, in Western philosophy or modern philosophy now, the way that they use it is mainly for health reasons. You will see that there are some extreme yogis where they go into different types of yoga because it's not just physical. There is the mental, there's the meditation, there's mindfulness. I know that there's chanting, I don't, dwell in the chanting of things like that. I'm more so concerned or more so centered around more of the physical and what it does and the chemicals that it releases for you. So that's mainly how yoga started. If you look up yoga, yoga means unity, so it's not just unity within community, but it's also unity within yourself, right? What are you connecting to? Connecting your mental to your heart, to your sacral, to your root, to all the things that encompass you. So that's what yoga really encompasses altogether.
So thank you for putting that so eloquently and so professional. I like that. I like to say I didn't know that. Hope the viewers, the ones that are on YouTube, thank you for chiming in, tuning in, and thank you for the ones tuning in on Facebook and the ones that are going to follow and watch as well. So I think we talked about it last time, but this is like I said, this is a new day, new age. How did you get into yoga? How did you become a yoga instructor?
I became a yoga instructor because, as I said prior, I had gone through a deep depression and I didn't even know it in the time that I was going through it. I had lost my job and then my mom had gone, she had a stroke, and I had to
Mm.
help, take care of her while also helping our family business because she was our family business. And all of that comes together was really stressful. It was a very low time in my life. And I was just, looking up online late, watching all these yogis that I follow. And one of them in particular that I followed, she was hosting a trip to Greece. And I told myself I would always go to Greece. And I said, well, let's just do it. Let's just go. Let's just have a good time. Let's just see what happens. And I went to Greece and met like 20 other yogis who were also, beginners, advanced, intermediate. And it was so interesting. I cultivated all these really great relationships. I got to really meet me. I got them to meet me authentically. They didn't even know me, and they just kind of like poured into me in a way that I didn't even see myself as, this powerful person that sticks up for people, or, you know, um, empowers others to look into themselves and look into the best of themselves. I love that they helped me identify that about me. I also found that Greece was such a beautiful country, and I was able to enjoy the people, the food, the land. It felt like God was really there. And for me, that was super important. It was also very healing for me. And in that time frame, even though I wasn't the best yogi, I was able to really kind of tap into certain things that I really enjoyed. I loved the fact that we were sitting in meditation for hours, or we would get into poses that were just like super challenging, but you just figured it out, and you had someone to just be your support or your balance. And after that trip, I was able to find a new job that's still centered around fertility, but I was still kind of, I had this feeling of like my passion is not being fulfilled. And the more that I was doing more digging into talking to physicians and talking to nurses and clinicians about this process, I felt like, okay, yoga seems like a really great way to connect people, not only with just your partner, but also with yourself. And I'm part of that. I'm a living testimony into that. When things were so chaotic, that's what I went to. I was able to get on the mat and just, do what I needed to do, quick flow. And then I would find myself right back to where I was, just being me. And it was a peaceful state. And I wanted to connect that with fertility. So that's really why I got into yoga. And I just did a 200-hour workshop where you became an instructor. It was a lot. It was really stressful, mainly because it was just a lot of different structural things that I had to deal with. But at the end of it, I was able to get my certificate, and I was able to kind of commit and invest into it. And I think when I found being a yoga instructor, it was really nice to be able to say, okay, I can teach this while also being able to teach something else that I really really love. And that's kind of how I put them all together.
Yeah, you blended both worlds, which is interesting. Which is that's a privilege within itself to be able to combine two things I love. I'm gonna give you an example. I love I love writing, right? I'm a writer, but then I love track and field too. I love sports. I can't combine those two, right? But in your particular situation, you're able to combine two different things you love. So that's pretty cool. That's admirable.
Yeah.
I like that for you.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I think I really learned that from my dad, because he always taught me to say, like, whatever you're good at, right? See if there is something that you can monetize from, right? Because like everyone's good at something, but how can you turn your passion into something that can be utilized for the community? And that's a question that I constantly ask myself when I'm, researching different services to offer to people, to see like, would they like this? Is this something that is needed in the community? And I truly think it is. I really, really do.
Touche, touche, touche. Yeah, and I wrote a few things down too. As we go, I'm taking notes and learning more about you. I didn't know your mom had a stroke. That is, and it that's so important that you stepped up to help her. And I say that from personal experience because my mom had two strokes, and I remember her first stroke. I remember getting the call, and I was at work, and the social worker called, and she said, Francis, your mom had a stroke, and she will not be able to function in the airport. Somebody needs to come get her. You know, you'll be here for her. And of course, that's my mom. But the tricky caveat part about that was she was living in Alaska.
Mm,
So I had to find a way to get from North Carolina to Alaska. But that's no here nor there. I'll tell you that story again one day.
yeah.
But going back to you, so I feel like finding yourself within helping your mom and finding your purpose during a stressful time and yoga being able to help you find that balance is super, super dope. Um,
Yeah.
you said something
And,
key earlier.
my
But
mom, to share with you too, my mom also had a second stroke too. And
wow.
that, yeah, and that one was the one that that was when I really had to dig deep into like, okay, I need some outside outsource help and stuff. And not to say it was just me, I did have my brothers and sisters, but also, I was also the main caregiver. So, I was at the time I was still working, remotely, thank God, and being able to just be there for her. But, I say this because like, yoga for me, because it is something that can be prevalent in the African American community, particularly in my family. I had to find something physically that would help me like stop, because I was going the same way that my mom was going, which is constantly working, constantly this, constantly worrying, constantly this. And I had to find something that was just like, just sit down, just relax. Don't
Mm,
worry about it. This is not what you need to worry about right now. And tying that into my faith in God, it was just like, all right, this is what I need to do.
hey, you know, I tell people all the time, for you to have a testimony, you have to be tested. So you definitely were tested, and now you have a wonderful testimony. And hope your mom's doing okay now. She fully recovered, or she's somewhat still having
She's
lingering
still
side
she's still in
effects.
the recovery stage, but we've set it up so that she has like full-time help. So she's always going to the gym, doing something, making sure that she's constantly moving. And now, like, we're having her come home so we could just be here with her for a little while and just, have her go back soon. But yeah, every day for her, I tell her all the time, every day is just a recovery space for her. And she's doing better than when we started at the second stroke. So I'm very thankful for that.
She came a long way, you know. And just thinking
Yeah.
about my mom is, I could tell after the first and second stroke, like she wasn't as sharp as she used to be. Because my mom was the type of person, like she's never driven in her life. But the funny thing is, we've lived in New York, Chicago, and LA. And prior to the stroke, my mom could give you when we stayed there, how to get around every city. And I noticed like from a cognitive standpoint, she just was like a little off after the
Hmm.
stroke. Like she wasn't as sharp.
Yeah.
Um, not saying that I missed that about her, but you could tell like strokes affect different families differently. So it's kind of rough, kind of seeing her not being as sharp as she used to be. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah.
it's one thing too, like, again, not to tie into yoga, not to like tie into yoga, but yoga has helped my mom a little bit too with slowing down. And it
Mm,
helps her kind of just like, because she's also, I feel like she's lost her short-term memory. Long-term
okay.
memory, she'll tell you what happened and this and that. And even like, when we test her short-term memory, we try to make sure like, okay, do you remember this? And then we have to kind of like drill it into her. And then when it's drilled into her, then it's just like sticks with her. But it all had to go back to her like really just kind of slowing down and really like just, finding her grounding. And it took a while for her to even find it. And she's still, learning it day by day. And I think that any stroke patient, that's where you have to kind of forgive yourself or give yourself grace when you're going through the recovery process. Even with yoga, I have to give myself grace every day with the things that I'm learning or trying to learn or be better at, because it's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. It's about you and what you are, your own competition, basically. That's what that is.
I love that, man. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that, and that's thank you for help. That's helping your mom too. So I didn't know that yoga can help stroke
Oh
victims or
yeah.
people that are okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. So back to yoga. Like I said, we're gonna get into fertility as well too. Um, so you talked about it earlier a little bit, but what is your favorite yoga position?
So it's so funny that you say that, because like, so I went on a retreat, another retreat. I've been on so many retreats, by the way. I have been to different retreats. I've been on Baha Yogi, aka Alex. I've been on like 6 of her retreats. And the last one I think that I was it Greece, or I think it was Trinidad. And I've been telling her for the longest I wanted to do crow pose. Crow pose is it's an arm balancing position where you are balancing your knees onto your elbows and you are lifting your toes off of the ground and you're balancing your weight onto both of these arms, right? And it took, like, I remember when I was trying it and trying it, we were doing it during COVID, and I pinched a nerve, and it was the most painful thing in the world. It's so hard. And then when we went to Trinidad, I was just like working up, and I had finally I got up to maybe like 3 to 5 seconds to just stand up, and that's a big deal, when you're practicing and practicing. So I was super super proud of myself, and I really love it because it just shows that you can carry all the weight that you have in that moment. So that's why I love it so much.
Do you know? First of all, how do you spell that? Do you not spell that crow?
CROW.
CR. Oh, like a crow.
Like a
Crow
crow.
pose.
Yeah, crow pose.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can pull that up, y'all. Like I said, we're gonna get a little interactive today. Let me try now. I'm a little rusty, but let's get into it.
It's a cool pose. I wish I have one. I think I have a picture of it.
Okay, share screen. Got to reload. My internet was acting up earlier, and let's go. Can you see anything?
Yeah, I can.
Pose. Okay, there we go. Good crow pose. Okay, yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
it's
let's let's
such
get
a
it.
cool. It's a cool pose. It's definitely a cool pose. It's something that you do have to, do this. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, okay. Like I said, we're getting a little interactive today, y'all.
Yeah.
So they got other poses as well. Um,
Yeah,
high
those are
plank.
different. This is just like doing different poses to just kind of push yourself. So these poses on the right hand side are to prepare you to get into this pose. So for every position that you want to try to get into, you want to educate yourself on the different types of poses, the other yoga poses that can help you get into the most difficult ones, right? They prepare your limbs, they prepare your muscles, just so that, okay, we're getting flexible, we're having the mobility, we're trying to get into it, let's go, let's do it. And I'll tell you, you have to practice this like if you have the chance, like practice every 10, 15 minutes every day, and then you can find yourself little by little, you start stretching yourself out. You might be on your arms for a minute or a second or 30 seconds. Our bodies are so interesting that they change every single day. So yeah, definitely. I challenge anybody, just figure out, which poses work for you, which works with the best.
And like you said, I can see pose number 7, the low chair. Then it kind of helps you gravitate to the crow prep, and then the actual
Mm-hmm.
crow. I
Yep.
see now. Okay, I
Yeah.
like, I like, I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me get out of this right quick because I want to go to back to where we at. There we go. All right,
Mhm.
can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, back to business. Oh no, why are
Oh
you
wait.
doing this?
I got it.
Okay.
Fix that.
All
Yeah.
right. So with that being said, did you get a chance? Well, I don't know if you want to reveal it where you were at, But you went on vacation.
Yeah, I did.
You and
I did.
you,
Me and my
you
boo.
and your
Yeah,
husband.
we
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
did. We sure did. We sure did.
So $1 million question: did you get a chance to do any meditation or any yoga
I
while you were?
did. I didn't do physical yoga. I did meditation though on the beach. I was usually the beach is the best place for me to do like when I'm by water, that is meditation alone. It really kind of calms your spirit. I mean, you can really just kind of ask anyone. Usually when I'm in those spaces, that's the moment where I'm really like speaking to God and I'm thanking him for what he's doing in my life and continuously doing in my life. And yeah, it was pretty much an everyday thing for me because I was off work, so I was going to the beach every day.
Man, beautiful, beautiful. And I say that because, like, that's one of my favorite things to do in this world. Like, the two most, I don't know if y'all can see this. I got to find a way to see the chat because I know I got some viewers in here. Wish I could see the comments. I got to fiddle with it, but I might try to fiddle with it towards the end of the show to get to the comments. But if you have any questions for Nana, text her personally or text me, or I'm gonna try to find a way to get into the comments. But for me, my place of serenity, peace is two places where I feel, well, three actually. I think I guess is gonna be a question for you because you
Yeah.
kind of geared it towards this question. You gave me a train of thought. So my place wherever I feel at peace is in the air, in the airplane. Believe it or not, in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I'm running, I feel like at peace. I feel like I just feel so euphoric when I'm running.
Yeah.
And then whenever I go on vacation, I have to catch a good sunrise and a good sunset.
Yeah. That's
Now
awesome.
those,
My sister and my sister and her husband, they do that a lot. They'll do like sunset dates or excuse me, sunrise dates where they just get up
mm,
super early. And kudos to them because Lord, I'll be up in my bed. I can't do it. But you know, they get up early and they'll go and watch the sun rise and I'm sure it's so beautiful.
okay, yeah, I'm seeing the chat now. As for me, what for you is your place of, besides yoga? Like you said you got a sunset. Like what's your place of serenity? Um, you feel
Uh,
like at peace and one with yourself, and
you were breaking up a little bit, but I would assume you said where would be my place of serenity?
yes.
Okay. So you know that's another thing part of Ohima Collective that I want to start introducing is like travel. I love to travel. Like ask anybody. I like to just be out, be on the beach, or be doing something that is related to travel, excursions, whatever. Anything that's related to travel, that's where you're gonna find me. Um, but I think it is usually by a body of water. It could be a pool, it could
Mm,
be a pond, it could be a lake. Um, I think also where I find comfort sometimes. You know, it's cliche to say, but sometimes I do find comfort when I'm going to church. You know, because sometimes when I don't have the answers, the answers usually just find me. Um, yeah, and I think those are the two main places. But I think, that's kind of what I want to introduce to people that meet me, like to really kind of find not even just the serenity for themselves, but just what makes you feel like super at peace. What's the thing that drives you to that point? What is your bubble of peace? And for me, it's always creating a safe space for anyone to come around me, and hopefully they can find, or be themselves when they're around me to find that little piece of serenity.
touche, touche. Well spoken. Shameless plug. I found out how to get in to these questions. So you know what? I'm gonna say this sidebar. Shout out to my team. You know, they they be sneak dissing me all the time, right? So shout out to Riz, shout out to Shondell. Let me get to a couple questions. Riz told me to try to pose. You know, I'm not gonna be no, your boy gonna tear nothing, right? Okay. To see me on camera tumble over would be hilarious though. But I think I got enough upper body strength to actually try it though. But we'll try that
To
another
try to
day.
do the
Oh,
actual post. If you did it, I mean, you would. I would definitely recommend that you have somebody that's by you, that's certified to help you, so you so you don't fall and hurt
child, they be
yourself.
trying to climb. They be trying to climb me all the time. They was climbing me yesterday. I'm like, okay, I see how it is. Sneak this. It be your own people, child. Be your own people.
I'm telling you,
Nah, I can take it.
they always be doing some things. But I'm saying, I think yoga for men is amazing. I think for you guys, it's so amazing that you guys do that, because your bodies are not made the way that ours are. Ours are just made to just
Yeah.
go into to positions that a lot of people don't realize. Like one thing, was one simple pose, child pose, where you're just leaning back with your hips. I've seen men where it's so hard, they're so stiff. And I understand why, because you guys don't have that mobility and flexibility that women can kind of get into. I mean, our bodies were built to birth. So it's different for you guys. That's why we recommend yoga for you whenever you're, when you're being athletic, when you even when you're running. Like the fact that you said you love running, yoga is great for that too, because it can help you with your strides. You can go a little bit faster, you can move a little bit different, you can go side to side, those types of things.
Oh, touche. I agree. I mean, granted, like I said, me and you, we've joked about this before. I've tried upward dog. I had to do a yoga class one time, and it just, I felt like, it was very challenging. Believe it or not, y'all, yoga is more challenging from a physical and mental standpoint than people think. Like, it's
Hmm.
really. I remember the class, and there was certain things I was like, nah, I'm not limber enough, like you said, as a man to do certain things. Like, I'm not as limber. But
Yeah.
if my muscles, and if the more yoga I would do, the elasticity in your muscles and
Yep.
your will be able to stretch out a little bit more. So
Yeah.
side shameless plug. Nana does do couples yoga, so I feel like if men, if you want to treat your lady, or vice versa, ladies, you want to treat your men, do something together. Couples yoga is definitely recommended. So,
Yeah, definitely. I think for couples yoga, it's not even just the physical that I offer. Come to the class and you'll see that it's like literally all of like 10-20% physical, but the majority of it, it's an experience that you guys are going to cherish together. It's a very unique experience, and it's really just centering on you and your partner. And it's so beautiful, because in the sense of, we're always running around every day. And when is the last time that you just sat down and you just looked at your partner, or you just gave them that, affirmation or reassurance that they probably needed for that day, just to kind of boost them up. And it's so beautiful getting to see them in that moment just stop everything and let it just be, and building their own bubble of peace. That's what I mean when I want to build serenity for these people when they come to me, and the space that I provide is what I want for them.
touche. I don't know if we paused. Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
Touche. Shondell said, keep, great stuff. Keep pushing. Kiana, our newest virtual assistant, shout out to Kiana Benjamin. You got this. Riz corrected me and said, no, it is downward dog.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
if
correct
anybody
it.
got any,
Like, I don't think that there's an upward dog. I mean, I think maybe he means upward salute. I don't remember. I don't know.
you say tomato, I say tomato. No, I'm just. I tell people all the time, like I stand to be corrected. I tell people I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again, right? So yeah, thank you. Don't hesitate to correct anybody. I'm not beyond reproach. Matter of fact, nobody's perfect, but I do tell my wife this: she's perfectly imperfect for me. Shameless plug. So shout out to my wife. Appreciate you, hun. So if you have any more questions, please put them in the comments. A lot of YouTube is definitely doing this thing right now. Does yoga help with PCOS? What's that?
PCOS. So PCOS is a polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's
Okay.
another infertility disease. It does help with the hormones to keep with the balance. However, you should consult your doctor. about any other additional symptoms that you're feeling, because I know there are different types of symptoms that everybody experiences. It can be hair growth, it can be fatigue, it can be a lot of different things. I think what PCOS does, it does kind of center your hormones a little bit when it comes to balancing. But I do think that as far as, going forward to looking for medication, you should look for consult a doctor when you're doing that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I always seek the professional opinion of a doctor. I tell this to people all the time. And if you need to seek the professional opinion of two doctors, nothing wrong with getting a second opinion. I think we talked about this in the last episode. In the African American community, for some odd reason, I don't think we have enough health advocates such as yourself, or
Yeah.
even representation of
Hmm.
doctors, OBs in the female, you know, area of medical, right? So
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. I've been in the medical field 14 years, and I've only seen one female OB
Oh,
doctor as
wow.
far as like I work personally, of African American descent. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think for me, because I've centered myself around healthcare for a very long time. So I am surrounded by, all races, but it's especially it's a proud moment when you see someone that looks like you, that knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing. And I can say for the center of women that are in healthcare that I know, particularly my sister, her best friend Jen, they're both nurse practitioners, very experienced in their fields. The doctor that I work with, Dr. Asamoda, she's super dope. Like, she's very intelligent. One of my other friends, Tori, she's a cardiologist, general medicine, geriatric physician. Like, I have other family that are also like, I have one set of cousins that are, each of them, all siblings, they're all doctors. So it's really nice to have grown up with that. But I do think it's important to have, someone that looks like you, that can present, to be able to show that healthcare is, it's not a one-off fit box there. And then I also find that, especially with women doctors, they've said that the percentage of a patient like doing well, like their outcomes are extremely higher because of the time that we take to get to learn our patients and to know them. And I can totally vouch for that, because I was a patient too. So it's really, really nice to kind of see that.
touche, touche. And Kiana had another good question. This is my last question for the moment because I think we have to get to some other things.
Mhm.
But I'm going to eventually get back to some questions towards the end as well. People, I don't want to. I don't want people to not feel like they're being heard or their questions are not being answered because sometimes it can be a lot. But we try to get to everyone that we can. And if we do miss a question today, whether it's from right now or in the future, don't hesitate to reach out to Nana via, I would say, Instagram DM or
Yeah,
email.
Instagram. Totally hit me up on Instagram. I'm gonna be doing more of these lives, even for myself. I think it's really important that people get to know who I am. People know what Ohima Collective is all about, and where we're striving to go to. So yeah, totally hit me up if you have any fertility questions. If you have any questions about yoga, even if I don't know certain things, I know where to redirect you to.
There we go. You heard it from the young lady herself. So, Kiana asked the question, how do you become a yogi?
Well, a yogi, if you want to be a certified yogi, there is a way to do that. You can sign up for a 200 hour yoga training session, where you're doing 200 hours of yoga. You're learning anatomy, the biology, the ideology of yoga. If you are just wanting to train, being a yogi is just you just getting on the mat, or really kind of understanding where yoga started from and what impact it makes on your life, right? Again, yoga is only, like, the physical part is only such a percentage of what the entire encompass of yoga is. So do your research, find out what type of yoga caters to you, because everybody's different, right? Everybody's in a different field.
All right. And that leads me to this question back to you. Okay, come on, a second. Who inspires you at the level you're at currently now?
Who inspired me? Say that one more time.
Who inspires you at the current like yoga instructor level that you are at now?
Oh. I feel like I'm still in the beginner phase of when it comes to yoga, but there are a lot of yogis that inspire me. Mainly my peers, because watching them from our mentorship program to where they're growing to now, amazing. I've watched my friend Ricky. She's a therapist. Amazing what she's done. She started doing retreats, which I wanted to talk about. Thick thigh yoga. My friend Seisha. The funny thing about Seisha, I love her. We'll probably do another live together. She's amazing. She has also found herself being a entrepreneur. She used to be a math teacher, and then in COVID, she kind of took her yoga company to the forefront, and now it's just gotten to a space where it's not just empowering women, but those that want to travel, community based and things like that. I absolutely love it. There's Baha Yogi. She's super dope. The story with Seisha and I did not, like, we knew each other from our mentorship program with Alex. And, after the mentorship program, we still have like a little group chat. And, knowing me, I'm ready to just book a trip. I'm ready to just go, right? And I said, hey, y'all, who wants to just go to the Bahamas and just hang out? Let's just go. Like, we could just link up with Alex because she's from Bahamas. And, like, everybody had, like, scheduling conflicts. But the funny thing was, like, Seisha did not. Seisha was like, hey, look, I'm ready to just go. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we just did it. And we met at the airport. And ever since then, we've been best friends. Like not besties, but that's my best yogi girl. Like, I love her so much. And she's doing so amazingly well. But yeah, they're my inspirations. I watch them every day. I root on for them for every day. Like, I think what they're doing is exactly what I've been trying to do. And I haven't been able to, I wanted to grow that in a way where I had the help of you guys, marketing me wherever I go and marketing me the way that I would like to be marketed. Shout out to Riz. Riz be putting the Riz on my stuff. I love it. But yeah, definitely those are my inspirations. And I'm praying that, I can get there to where they are. And I know with them, they would totally help me wherever I needed to. So that's why I'm just like, all right, it's cool. We'll get there. Don't worry. Super supportive.
Touche. I love it, man. Thank you. And shout out to your hubby. He tapped in. He said great stuff here. So I've been showing a lot of the comments.
Love you, boo.
On there you go. So you said something key, and before I get into showing some other things about your page and Ohima, what's next? What's next for Ohima? You said something about, we talked about it briefly, but I know you guys are cooking it up. I don't want to give too much away. I want them to hear from you, but you definitely said about your own resorts and your own travel destinations for Ohima. We talked about that briefly. Can you tap into that more?
I would love to test. So as I was talking with retreats, I always knew the yogi lifestyle financially. Retreats was the one thing that I wanted to tap into because I love to travel. Yet I also love to bring people to places that I know they would love because I've gone there too. And I've done this multiple times where I have gone to places and people were like, oh man, we love this place, we love the food, da, da, da. But I also wanted to bring my own purpose to it. So my love for travel is one of my things, my love for fertility, and then, my love for yoga. So bringing that all together and being it centered in a way where it's tapping into a field that is necessary, right? A lot of people don't
Mhm.
realize like fertility is a disease. And I think a lot of times people don't understand like there needs to be a community there. It's so it's so hard to find other people that relate to what you're going through, because people be like, oh well, you could just get pregnant, or you know, they say these crazy things, and you're just like, all right guys, like you don't understand what it takes for certain people to get there. It might be
Yeah.
easy for some, but it's very difficult for others. And I want to be able to create that space where people can be seen, they can be heard, they can live and be themselves, they can cry, they can laugh, they can create these beautiful relationships with people, so that they can also kind of, you know, gather from there. I also think that my relationship, you know, with my boyfriend right now is also an amazing testimony, because it strengthens what you need as far as a partner. Like going through this journey, you need the right partner, right? And I think sometimes we, you know, during this process, everybody tends to clash, or even just in general in life, we clash and we don't know how to communicate or how to see or hear each other. And so I use my relationship as somewhat of a test, not even a test, but more so as a testimony to saying, okay, well, these are the things that we've done, and this is, you know, what helped us, and these are some of the tools that we use. These are exercises that we use. Hopefully that could be used for you. And so tying all that together and putting that into retreats, I want to place it in spaces where people are going to relax. They're going to have fun. They're going to do yoga. They're going to try new things. They're going to be vulnerable, be raw, be able to just be themselves, when it's so difficult to that, and also relate with people that they didn't think that they could relate to. You know, I know sometimes men, they can't really sit in spaces that allow them to just be vulnerable, because the world has told them they have to be masculine, they can't cry, they can't do this. But that's not what this space is about, right? Being vulnerable is a powerful tool into owning who you are. And so that's what my retreats are trying to do. They are trying to own that piece of who you are, live in your truth, while also being able to go through this process, saying, you know what, I'm going to go through this journey, and whatever the outcome is, I know that I have experienced it, and I know that it's for me. And if it's not for me, I know that there's a redirection that is coming soon. So I hope that people can get to know me, get to know Ohima, get to know what we're about and what we're going to be doing. You know, I want to partner up with a lot of different physicians that I do know that I have championed me and my company. I want them to, you know, get to learn from different areas and different, you know, topics of fertility in general, not just like creating a baby, but just preservation. Maybe I just want to freeze my eggs, or maybe I just want to freeze embryos, maybe I want to freeze sperm, you know, like all these types of things are what Ohima Collective is all about. And I'm super happy that I'm getting to get deeper into my purpose as I do this, as I keep going day by day. I'm learning something new, or something that goes to my brand but doesn't go to my brand. So it's definitely a journey for me too.
That's what I like to hear, man. I think speak it, believe it, receive it, and I think you definitely put that energy out there into the ethos, and you build it, they will come. So I think if you build it, they will come. In the words of I forgot the name of that movie with Kevin Costner. I think it was Field of Dreams or something like that. If you build
So
it, they will come. So you build that resort or you build that retreat, they will come.
yeah.
Sidebar, I do have a random question because I ran into a friend of mine, ran into all kind of unique people. Tell you what, um, she was actually a CRNA, certified registered nurse anesthetist, and she was a Reiki specialist, right?
Yeah.
Never got into Reiki chair, but she went to a silent retreat. And to
Mm,
be honest, to me, I'm getting to learn more about you. Granted, y'all, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a journalist, um, but I am a certified life coach. I am a consider myself an intellectual human being. I like to learn about people, you know. So Me asking you some of these questions is somewhat personal and someone getting to know you as an individual, and then also I have the business side of our relationship as well. So I can distinguish both. Some of these questions are certain are personal too as well. But I wrote this question down because you said something earlier, um, and I'm trying to work on my journal skills because, like I said, I'm not. I didn't go to school to be a journalist, right? But I'm still learning as I go, right? So I had, like I said, my friend of mine. She went to a silent retreat. Would you ever go to a silent retreat? Because you say sometimes when you're out there meditating, you're kind of like becoming one with yourself, getting centered, getting grounded. I know a lot of that is focusing on your inner thoughts and your voices. Would you ever do a silent retreat,
Would I do one with my clients?
or both, your clients and yourself?
I can't say that I would do that with my clients because what I'm servicing is mainly a lot of communication. So that's
Okay.
kind of what we want to do. Would I personally do a silent retreat? It depends on how many days. Like if it was like 2 days, maybe 3 days, yeah, I could probably do something like that.
My girl was she was in the paint for 7 days,
I can't
and
do
I
that.
was just like, "How, Sway?" When I mean, she told me this, and I was just like, "So you mean you have no means of literally you cannot
Nope.
communicate?" They go to. It was the most interesting, wildest thing I ever heard because they go to lunch at a certain time. No one talks to one another. You go to your room. It was just like, wow, mind blowing. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you answered that question. And before I roll out of here, um, let's get into sharing more of your information about you, a little bit about fertility. If anyone has any questions, you guys can actually ask now, whether that's via Facebook or whether that is via YouTube. So we appreciate you
Yeah.
and get into some of these things. And you can just answer as you see what I'm trying to present here.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
Whatever
boom.
questions you guys have, that's totally fine. You can hit me up on Instagram, Ohima Collective. That's where I'm usually checking my inbox, and most times it's me that's responding. Um, so yeah, just check me out.
All right. You heard it. You heard it from her, people. All right, we're gonna go to your Facebook, and we're going to share a couple things on the Facebook. And if you can, just give your 2 cents on it. Like I said, we're gonna be a little. I tell you, we're gonna be a little interactive on this one. Um, get the people's juices so they can see a visual. So let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, what do we have here?
What's that?
You were. Can you see? Can you see the
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, I can.
All right. Explain to us what was going on here. You at the Woodside Chapel, and
Yeah.
were you?
So this is I was hired uh to help a group. It's the I forget, it was Mops. And that young lady there, she's my cousin Angel. She's a member of that group, and I was hired to kind of like help the moms just kind of just do some yoga, do some meditation. Super dope, really cool. I actually gotta figure out if they want to do that again because I really want them to. I like doing stuff like that all the time, where I'm just kind of helping the community in that way.
Hey, here we go. Rapid fire. That was in 2022. So shout out to Mops. Shout out to Cuzzo. Going back, was this a part that were these some of
Yeah, that was part of it too.
the people?
Yeah.
Nice. No, where did happen? Where did you go? My screen started acting up a little bit. Hold on, y'all. My apologies. Yeah. Let's go back to it. Hold on. Let me refresh my screen right quick. Let's go back to photos. All right, I'll make that. That's you talking about your journey. I had a couple other photos. Where are we at? A couple of photos I want to talk about. Let's go back to photos. Here we go. Y'all bear with me. Are we still doing this event on the 26th? No.
No, we're switching that to Late May. So we are going to be doing
Okay.
aerial yoga, where I'm going to be hosting about 10 participants who are brave enough to get on the silk instead of the mat, where we are going to learn how to do basic fundamentals of aerial yoga. So I'm really excited. Sign up, it's $40. After the class, we will have some wine, we'll take some pictures, definitely do a little bit more some aerial yoga if you want to take pictures with that. So excited. I'll keep you posted on the new date.
TBD. I love it. I love it. And to be honest with you, $40, y'all can't beat that. That is a great individual time to be had.
Yeah,
$40, and it's a good date. So hey, bring your loved ones. $40. We'll probably put the link in the Ohima Instagram page. So
yeah.
moving forward, TBD on the date. Wonderful smile right there. Hope fertility. We'll scroll.
Hope fertility
Scroll.
is where I work.
Okay. That was Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Beautiful sunset right there. That was an old event. There was another one. I like this picture right here too. I like that. Did somebody draw that for you personally?
No, I actually I found this and I thought it was super dope because I wanted it to tie to the caption that I had about Black women and when it comes to yoga and how yoga is kind of, I told you how it started in Egypt, went to, predominantly in India. And now it's kind of seen as like this white woman's, um, go to exercise. But, yoga is so comprised with so many different individuals. A lot of them that when I found yoga, I started seeing a lot of them that look like me. And sometimes you think that you have to be this thick thin girl that's super flexible, but it's not true. You can still be thick, you can still be whichever size that you can be that you're comfortable in and still do yoga for you. And that's what I had to learn throughout the process of going through the yoga journey.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like the representation of the women. I like the color scheme. I like the garment. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Probably one or two more things, and then we'll get back to a little bit about fertility. Where were you at in this pic? This is like Bali or somewhere. This looks
No,
nice.
this was in Accra, this is in Ghana, this is Oburi Mountains. So this is their botanical gardens. So definitely love my trip. Can't wait to host a retreat out there. It's gonna be super dope. So look out for that too.
That looks so beautiful. I look at that, y'all. Just look at the angles, look at the trees. I mean, that looks beautiful, man. That's heaven on earth, man. The motherland and how just beautiful it is. I love it. I love it. Couples bonding. We talked about that a little bit. What are we doing? What's the ambiance here? We got any music going? Is it
Yeah,
breathing in and out?
yeah, this was morning meditation. So this was towards the end of our practice where we kind of sit in meditation in isolation with yourselves in your thoughts. I usually have the music going in the background so that they can kind of just just be with one with themselves.
All right, one more, and oh, I like this one too. Hold on, this one was a good one. This one, I think, was an article kind of explaining. Um, I read that early Alliance since 2020. Her focus is helping individuals in their journey of healing through yoga, meditation, and breath work. Her company, Ohima Collective, was founded to assist those in couples bonding, individual yoga, and fertility workshops. That was a beautiful article right there. I love that. I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get back to stop sharing the screen and get back to you. And before I leave, I will be remiss not to talk about the services you provide. We didn't get into, I think we talked about it last time, more of the financial aspect of it. We talked about that last time.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if we talked about when is the best time to try to conceive. I don't know if we had any health tips about that. But the floor is yours, ma'am. I've asked you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
People in the comments have asked you questions. What is one thing you want to talk about here and leave with a good point for as far as fertility before we get out of here, because you were vulnerable about your journey.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about your services, and
Yeah.
the floor is
So definitely want to say that, I do have services where we do couples bonding, which is couples yoga together. I do individual yoga. We also do fertility workshops where if you want to learn more about your financial status with your insurance, or where you can get grants and things like that for fertility assistance, for financial assistance, definitely reach out to me. We can do a consultation where we can talk about where you can go. I am going to do a live where we talk about some of the tips and tricks that we in the first fertility finance that we use, so you can kind of get around the corners of insurance as well. Insurance is very, very tricky, and we want you to have the best knowledge to empower yourselves so that you can go out and be like, look, I know what Nana taught me, so I'm going to be able to get what I need to get, and some sneaky little things that I think you can utilize. Um, yeah, look at up for our page. Look at a link, our tree, our link tree on Instagram. You'll see all the latest that's going on. We'll update as much as possible. I do like to have community events, just like the couples aerial yoga, or having events for moms that I think would be super dope. So definitely reach out to me. Like I said, I'm always looking at my messages on the Instagram, so don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to talk, have a conversation, I'm here.
man. That is so beautiful, man. That is so beautiful. You summed everything up, man. I feel like we covered a lot, y'all. I really want y'all to appreciate and embrace this
Yeah.
this interview. We came, vini vini vici. We came, we saw, we conquered. I mean, I think I did a good job. I think we did a good job. Nana, I learned a lot about you. Um, we appreciate you and your journey, your vulnerability. We enjoy being your support system. So we're building this community here, Ohima Collective. Shout out to my team, Nana's team, DNC Creative Services LLC. We feel like we're a family over here. We're very easy to reach and get in contact with. So if anybody needs marketing services, and y'all reach out to Nana, Nana will get paid. Sidebar, because she has referral bucks over here.
Yeah.
Um, so Riz has a couple questions, and then we get out of here. I'm gonna show the
Sure.
questions on the screen. As an introvert, a silent retreat sounds like heaven.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
that.
buddy.
I can see that.
Yeah. I'm an introvert extrovert. I'm a switch. I trust me. I tell you all the time. You need to become an extrovert when you have a business. Now you can be
Yeah.
introvert when when certain times, because I'm a natural thinker as well. So
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm quiet, I like to be thinking. I'm introverted, and I'm a real big energy person too. I don't like to give everybody my energy all in the beginning. So I become kind of introverted and I warm up to you. That's how I just meet from
Yeah.
personal experience.
Yeah.
Go follow Human Collective.
I've always been an extrovert my entire life, but I think as I've gotten older, it's been very much introvert extrovert, where it's just like I can be introverted here and then extroverted there, and I'm only extroverted with the people that I like deem like, okay, yeah, I could be myself around here. Like I'm okay with that. Yeah, totally come to a class. If you guys can definitely come. Usually during the summertime, that's the best time when I have like really dope classes by the pond. We do like sunset yoga, sunrise yoga, sometimes sunrise if I can make it on time. But yeah, definitely reach out. Look out for all the events that are happening. I want to build a community, so I don't want to I don't want to bum rush you with all these things, but I do want you to just meet new people, meet me, get to know what Ohima Collective is all about, and just have a good time.
Yeah, there you go. And let's participate, people, man. Each one teach one, and like let's participate in these activities, man, because they sound super dope. I wish I was in the area to participate as much, but maybe like I said, we talked about doing something in the future. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you,
Yeah,
your company.
thank
Um,
you.
Thank you so much for your time. Any part?
Thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for getting people to get to know more about me. I'm hoping to do more of these so that you guys can really get to know a little bit about my side, hopefully my goofy side too. Maybe my extrovert will come out a little bit.
Hey, I love it, man. Sidebar, y'all did something. You and Stephanie posted something the other day. Just like maybe I forgot timeline on it, but you were just singing in the car, child. She was over there doing car karaoke, and it was hilarious to me. Um, which
Ah, he caught me.
I
He caught me at the beat. I was like, "Oh, that's my jam, yo!" And then he caught me. I was like, "Oh, you posted that."
hey, life's about having a good time, man, and the energy that you're putting out is dope because like people, you probably unbeknownst to you make people's day, with your energy and your positivity. So um, I love it, y'all. And Doreen says, Nana, you're so funny. So that's it, man. Unless you have any parting words of wisdom for us, I'm excited, man. People don't want nobody call or text me after this. I gotta upload this stream, y'all. So that's it for that. But do you have anything else? You any parting words of wisdom for us?
No, just remember to always be you. That's the most best outfit you can ever wear.
Oh God, yes. Organically yourself. Touche. All right, you guys take care, man. Thank you for tuning in. And
Bye, guys.
thank you for your time, guys. You take care. All right. And that's a wrap, good people.